Hey class, today we're going to focus on drafting a bodice sloper for a two-way stretch knit fabric. Check out the description below for required measurements. Step 1. Draw a line the length of your center back neck to hip and label the hip at the bottom of that line. Step 2. Measure down from the top of the center back line, the neck to waist measurement. Make a mark and label waist. Step 3. Divide the center back neck to waist measurement in half and add 1 inch. You're going to mark this on your center back line from the top and you're going to label it bust. Step 4. From the bust line mark at center back, you're going to draw a line that measures 1/4 the bust circumference minus 1 inch. Step 5. From the waistline mark at center back, draw a line that measures 1/4 of the waist circumference minus 1/2 inch. Step 6. From the hip line mark at the center back, draw a line that measures 1/4 of the hip circumference minus 1/2 inch. So the reason that we're removing some from each measurement is because we want to have negative ease when working with knits so that it can cling closer to the body. Step 7. At the top of the center back line, draw a perpendicular line that measures 1/2 of the shoulder width measurement and label shoulder width. Step 8. On this line, make a mark at your total neck circumference measurement divided by 6. Step 9. Draw a line that is 7/8 of an inch up from the shoulder width line. Step 10. Make a mark that's 1/4 of an inch down from the top of your center back line. Step 11. Use your French curve to blend from that 1/4 of an inch mark at your center back neck to your neck shoulder intersection. Step 12. Drop the back shoulder width line 1.5 inches and draw a line from that point to the back neck curve, creating your new shoulder line. Step 13. Measure this line and record the measurement. Step 14. Draw a straight line from your shoulder tip to your bust line. Step 15. Mark the center of that line and extend it toward the center back 5/8 of an inch. Step 16. Measure the center back neck to the bust line and divide that measurement by 3. You're going to measure this amount up from the bust line and make a mark. Draw a line that extends from that mark to the line that connects the shoulder to the bust. Step 17. Use your French curve to connect the shoulder tip to that 5/8 of an inch line to the bust line. Step 18. Connect the bust line to the waistline and the waistline to your hip line. Step 19. Measure the distance between the waist and hip at the center back and make a mark at that measurement on your side seam line from the waistline to the hip line. Step 20. Use your French curve to blend the bottom of your hem. After curving the bottom of your hem, use your curve to also true your waistline. This way, your waist will have a nice curve instead of being pointed. Cut your back draft out, leaving room for seam allowance. Now on to the front. Step 1. Draw a line the length of center back, neck to hip, and label your hip. This is now your center front line. Step 2. Measure down from the top of your center front line, the center back neck to waist measurement. Mark and label waist. Step 3. Divide the center back neck to waist measurement in half and add 1 inch. Make this mark on your center front line from the top and label bust. Step 4. From the bust line mark at center front, draw a line that measures 1/4 of the bust circumference minus 1 inch. Step 5. From the waistline mark at center front, draw a line that measures 1/4 of the waist circumference minus 1/2 of an inch. Step 6. From the hip line mark at center front, draw a line that measures 1/4 of the hip circumference minus 1/2 of an inch. Step 7. At the top of your center front line, draw a perpendicular line that measures 1/2 of the shoulder width measurement and label this your shoulder width. Step 8. On this line, make a mark at your total neck circumference measurement divided by 6. Step 9. Draw a line 1/4 of an inch up from this mark. Step 10. Mark 1/6 of the neck circumference measurement plus 1 inch down from the top of the center front line. Extend this mark out 1/2 inch. Step 11. Use your French curve to blend from the center front neck to the neck-shoulder intersection. Step 12. Drop the front shoulder width line by 1.5 inches and draw a line from that point to the back neck, creating your new shoulder line. Step 13. Mark the length of the back shoulder on the front shoulder line, and if the front shoulder is longer, then remove the difference. If it's shorter, then add the difference. You will be adding or removing from the shoulder tip. Step 14. Draw a line from the new shoulder tip point straight down to the bust line. Step 15. At the center of the line, draw a line over 3/4 of an inch going toward center front. Step 16. Use your French curve to connect the shoulder tip to the 3/4 of an inch line to the bust line. Step 17. Connect the bust line to the waistline and the waistline to the hip line. Step 18. Measure the distance between the waist and the hip at the center front line and make a mark at that measurement on the side seam from the waist to the hip. Step 19. Use the French curve to blend the bottom of your hem and then again to curve out your waistline. Step 20. Make sure that your front and back shoulder measurements are the same, as well as your front and back side seams. Both your front and back patterns will be cut on the fold, and you want to add 1/2 inch seam allowance for fitting. Okay, so this is what my draft looks like. If you need any help, please be sure to email me or ask questions in class.